In this next section, we're going to look at how to visually represent sets, and those are going to be done using what is called a Venn diagram. So in a Venn diagram, typically a rectangle will represent the universal set, all the objects or elements that we are interested in studying. And then within that are all these individual sets. So for example, you might have the set of anything that happens to be red. We'll call that set A. And we might have another set of things that are, for example, all the set of fruits. We could call that set B. And there are red fruits. And so that's why those circles happen to overlap. You can throw in a third set that would overlap A and B, maybe call it set C as well. But do notice that everything in set A is enclosed in that entire circle. The first circle I drew, the red one, and then everything in set B is contained within the second set that I happen to draw, or the blue one. So what we're going to do is I've got a bunch of Venn diagrams drawn here, and we're going to be shading each of the requested regions. And so what I'm going to do right now is kind of hop around a little bit like we've done in the past. So I'm going to start with number 1. So set A, again, is everything in the circle enclosed by the set A. And so that is how you would shade set A. Now, let's move across to number 3. A complement, if you remember the definition, is all of the things that are not in set A. So in other words, it's the opposite of set A. So for shading there, it's going to be everything on the outside of set A. All of the things not in set A is A complement. All right, let's move down to number 5. A union B. So remember, the union is you combine everything in set A with everything in set B. And so really what's happening, if I can get another color here, when you combine the stuff in set A with the stuff in set B, you end up with everything there that's shaded. All of A, all of B, and what's in between. All right, now let's go down to number 9. A minus B. So remember, what that says is we're going to start with set A and we're going to remove anything in set B. In other words, we're going to start with what's here in set A, and then we're going to remove the part in set B. So you're left with what is in set A and A alone. All right, so as we've done in the past, I'd like you to pause the video and I'd like you to work through the remaining problems on this page as well as the 3 at the top of page 9. Okay, so let's take a look at how things went. Number 2 and number 4 are very similar to 1 and 3, but again, our focus is set B instead of set A. In number 6, we want the intersection of A and B, so where A and B overlap or share things in common. Number 7 and 8 are the complements of number 5 and number 6. So essentially exactly the opposite in terms of shading. What you shaded in 5 is what you do not shade in 7, and what you shaded in 6 is what should not be shaded in number 8. When it goes to number 10, it's very similar to number 9, only you start with everything in set B and you remove the portion of set B that is shared with set A. And then numbers 11 and 12 are the complements of numbers 9 and 10. So again, shading exactly the opposite of what you had shaded in number 9 and number 10.